So here is why on day 52 at North Atlanta Equestrian in Cartersville. And it was really good practice because there were some new obstacles set up. So I decided to take the boys over and see how they do. It's great practice because this area is also fenced in. So if anything should happen, I at least have them kind of fenced in. So just working a little bit with Y on a little bit of the groundwork, letting him lick and chew for a second, and then heading to his poor Noodles have seen some better days, but I was pretty happy with his reaction to that because he had different colors and he's never seen anything like that before, and he handled that really well. He has seen the bank before, so kind of knows to go up, but he's getting really good about staying at my shoulder, working on regulating our speed and tempo. So then I'm heading up towards that cowboy curtain. He actually does a pretty good job about walking past that. And then this is a very narrow bridge, which he doesn't quite understand. He has walked on bridges before, but this one's pretty narrow. So I'm just trying to get him to just understand to keep his feet on it. Right now, I don't really care if he has 4 feet or not. And there he kind of looked for it, which was a good little moment right there. And now heading to, this is kind of a checkerboard, so it can be kind of shocking to horses to go from grass to then a very different color on the ground, the white and brown, but he doesn't mind at all. It seems he really enjoys kind of going off property and handling these different objects. So for this introduction, I'm kind of just going to walk him around this at first because it is a little different. Let him sniff it some. Now I'm going to push it a little so he can follow. And I made sure that he wasn't in between all of the horses. You see there's 3, so I wanted to make sure he didn't have the scary horses following him. But on this side, I was able to do it, and he handled that pretty well. It was really good. And so he gets a nice rub, a good pat. He really responds to the voice as well. As you can see, he's pretty willing to reach out with his neck and his nose. That's kind of the beginning steps of getting one to understand to go forward. And he loves to jump things, so he's starting to learn that he can be pretty confident that way, and I don't mind. I like it when they jump. So now I'm going to come back to the bridge again. See if he's thought about it some. And he's just kind of in a little bit of a hurry, so I'm wanting to slow him down so he can think about one step at a time. And again, just thinking one step, and then he really surprised me here how well he handled that. Did a really good job. And again, working on our speed, kind of staying at the shoulder. He's a little hesitant about the down bank. That's okay. And I do the bigger one, and this one he understood pretty well. Now we're going to head to the cones. And again, this is where I have to teach him to regulate on the speed just a little bit. And the cones can be a little tricky because they have to kind of go in and out away from you and come back. So that's just something I need to practice a little bit better. And then he had his introduction to the ball. So I was helping him a little bit by making sure I could push the ball away to try to teach him that he could push it. And any time he did touch it, I would reward him with a voice cue. And then he's starting to get the idea a little bit. And now we're going to head to the cowboy curtain. And of course the wind has picked up, but I have to open the gate. So I give him just a minute here. I trust him to not run away. He knows he can have like his area if he is uncomfortable. So you see he gets a little uncomfortable when I have to open that gate. Because of course the wind picked up and is blowing directly at him. So Mother Nature. But he's doing a good job right here. Now I'm walking into the trying to move the curtain so I can give him a gap. This curtain's a little bit tough for kind of a first curtain because it's pretty heavy material and it's pretty thick strips. So oftentimes if it's a little lighter and a little thinner so they can see through it to kind of teach them, and if it's light, so especially when you have a sensitive horse, and he's pretty sensitive about things touching him sometimes, it can be easier on them. But he did go through it because I made a big enough gap for him to try to show him that he could go through it. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time trying to build this up a little bit. That was better. And again, just trying to make the space so he can understand that it's not a wall. He can, in fact, push through it a little bit. Do a little pressure release on the halter. And now I'm adding a little bit more to it so I've got one side and the other so you can still see a fairly good gap. That's getting better. And I'm trying to make it so I can gradually close the gap a little bit so he can start to understand, but it's a little hard because, like I said, it's a little heavy. And he's just a little sensitive about it, but he's handling it pretty well. And again, I'm going to go see if I can make that just a little lower. That was a really good boy. And again, just waiting for him a little bit. And that was really good. So I decided to go ahead and leave that for where that was. Head back to the narrow bridge. He does this really well, besides almost falling off. I was just really happy with this confidence over that. And then just working again on our speed, working on trotting and stopping. And then going to finish over our noodles. getting him to change his direction. That was pretty good. Then I thought I would at least make the Noodle a little bit bigger since they're kind of sad. And to see how he would react with it touching. And of course, he decides to jump it. So overall, really happy with why. Had a good day.